This team has given a fledgling football nation, a developing football nation, enormous amounts of pride, a hell of a great time, and the Australian fans have responded.
Tonight, fever pitch. With the Socceroos out of the World Cup, will Australia's newfound passion for the world game last?
For years and years and years, you either liked soccer or you hated it. Today, here it is, it's united us more than any other sporting event I can ever remember.
And Clive James shares his passion for the artists who define the Australian spirit.
As I learn a little bit more about painting as I get older, I begin to appreciate more and more what a really remarkable talent it is.
Program. It will surely go down as one of the most heartbreaking moments in the nation's proud sporting history. Just 12 seconds from full time, Australia's World Cup mission came to a dramatic end, with Italy scoring that controversial penalty goal to win the sudden death match 1-0. The Socceroos roller coaster ride is over, but there's an air of great optimism about the future. Rarely has a national team captured such public imagination with record television audiences and huge outdoor parties at ungodly hours. Long the poor relation of Australian sport, the Socceroos' success has now raised an expectation that an exciting new era is about to begin. But there have been false starts before, and once the fervour dies down, will 2006 go down as a milestone or just a fond memory? Matt Peacock reports.
Years and years, you either liked soccer or you hated it. Today, here it is, it's united us more than any other sporting event I can ever remember.
This team has given a fledgling football nation, a developing football nation, enormous amounts of pride, a hell of a great time, and the Australian fans have responded.
He's in behind Marco Bresciano, Fabio Grosso, oh, it's a penalty! Oh, it's a disaster for Australia at the end, and would you believe it's Lucas Neal? It's cruel, oh so cruel on Australia. In fact, the final whistle has blown, it's all over.
It was a cruel end to an amazing run. Although that penalty has abruptly dashed Australia's hopes at this World Cup, the fervent support they've won over the past few weeks is a dream come true for the Socceroos' true believers.
What penalty? How? Where do they find these penalty kicks? It's beyond me, really.
Rale Rasic was the coach the only other time the Socceroos reached the finals 31 years ago. He complains about the impact of poor refereeing, but for him the bigger payoff is that this time around the game has finally turned the corner.
Definitely, because for me, football is always healthy when the kids are playing. That what I call football has future, because kids are dreaming about their superstars. That Harry Kewell in last 6 months, probably there is no paper in this country that Viduka, Kewell, Bresciano, other players, Lucas Neal, that they haven't hit the headlines. A phenomenon.
I've never seen or felt such a uniting factor in sport in Australia for a long, long time.
For columnist and commentator Mike Gibson, the other football codes now have a real rival.
Particularly in a day and age when the other football codes are suffering, especially rugby league, with some appalling publicity, players getting into trouble off the field. These fellas come out, I mean, have a look at them. Wouldn't every mum want their boy to be Harry Kewell or a Tim Cahill or, dare I say, Lucas Neal? This game has really taken off.
Never before has the nation switched on to soccer so keenly and with so much excitement. And even in defeat, the fans have made it very clear that the Socceroos and coach Gus Hiddink are still their heroes. The defeat brought back memories from years ago for former Socceroos like Paul Wade.
I think back to when we played Iran at the MCG and we had 20 minutes to go and we were 2-0 up and we conceded 2 goals in that time and got kicked out of the World Cup. And I'm putting this alongside it and I'm thinking that was just as cruel. You see some of the vision from all the networks and there's tears and you can see them looking up at the screen in fear of what's just about to happen. It'll be one of those moments I remember where I was when.
Nearly a decade on, the Socceroos may have suffered another cruel exit. But after their best ever performance at the game's international showcase, its supporters believe that Australian soccer has finally come of age.
When you arrive on the same stage and you are equal on the field better, world media, everybody focusing at you, I was absolutely delighted, over the moon. And, you know, for a day to arrive like that, it's a huge success.
Everyone keeps talking about a bandwagon. I'm talking about a road train that goes for miles and everybody's on it. And I hope they stay on it too, because it won't end there. We're going to go to the Asian Cup now, and we're going to give the Japanese another chance to take revenge.
Every little boy around the world, whether it's a back lane in Mexico or a dirty, sandy track somewhere in Africa, they're all kicking a football. And I think there's a lot of little boys in this country who are going to kick that football right through their teens now, where they used to give soccer away. I think it's become an absolute major sport in this country.
The beast has been unleashed. Try putting it back in the bottle now, right?
The beast, Matt Peacock, with that report. And Peter Wilkins, who has witnessed the Socceroos' incredible emotional journey at first hand, joins me now from Friedrichsruhe. Peter, this match surely was an absolute pinnacle performance by the Socceroos, but will it go down in Australia's World Cup history as the precious one that got away?
It most certainly will, Kerry. In fact, just a few moments ago, Gus Hiddink on the way out expressed some disappointment, not only in the penalty decision, but the fact that they didn't take their chances in the second half when they had a numerical advantage. And so you see the situation where they're into the last 16, but they could quite easily have been into the last 8 and who knows, a little bit further. So that is eating the team. This was the one that got away. They had Italy on the rack, on the back foot, one of the most princely powers in the world game, and they just couldn't put them away.
I know there must be some extra agony in the Australian camp, given that the Ukraine, having got through against Switzerland, would have been the team they then had to beat in the quarterfinals to get not too difficult a passage through to the semis.
That's right, and a couple of them just left by car. Mile Stajovski, a few others have left, Mark Schwarzer, and you could see it in their faces. They probably heard or saw snippets of the game, Ukraine versus Switzerland, which went to penalties, and they saw two sides that they could easily have accounted for, and then they would have gone on to meet Germany or Argentina. So a last 4 position, these chances don't come around that often. That's what they're reflecting on right at this point.
I know when you get so close and that final decision is a controversial one, it would be a natural reaction to say we was robbed. But now that the dust has settled a little, is that still really the prevailing sentiment in the Australian camp? You talked about what Gus Hiddink had to say.
Probably, yes. Gus Hiddink thinks there's a perception which becomes reality that the champion teams, the world champions, get a little bit of an armchair ride up against the minnows. And while you could see that certainly against the Brazilian game where all those fouls, they were awarded, they were misrepresented basically, against Croatia, the diabolical decisions, against Japan, the sort of false goal there against Schwarzer. But here, from this humble opinion, the referee had a terrific game up until that last moment. And sure, it was a dodgy decision, but if you're a defender and you're putting yourself on the ground in front of an attacker going for goal, it's a bit like padding up to Shane Warne. You're putting yourself in that little danger zone there and you don't want to be doing it. Lucas Neal had to do it, and it was just a desperate way to end. And I think the frustration of the bad decision, we was robbed, that was born of that second half when Australia just controlled it. The hairs were up on the back of the neck, the amount of possession they had and the angles they were playing, but in the final third, they just couldn't make it count. They probably only had the one real chance to Tim Cale with a header over, but if that had got in, they would be absolute heroes today. They're still heroes, but they'd still be in the tournament.
What does it say that over their 4 matches, in each case fighting above their weight in terms of ratings and rankings, that the Socceroos scored 5 goals and had only 6 goals scored against them? That is a net deficit of only 1 goal over 4 games.
It's absolutely remarkable. Look at the history. 1 World Cup appearance 32 years ago, no goals, 2 defeats, 2-0 and 3-0, so they conceded 5, scored none. Here, they've scored 5 goals. That is a gem to grab hold of, and they've conceded 6, and one of them was a bodgy penalty. They've played Brazil. They've played Italy. They've played 2 teams ranked much higher than them in the world, and they've competed up until the last moment in every game. Against Japan, it went down to the wire. Against Brazil, they were trailing 1-0 with a minute or 2 to go, and the match was in the balance. Croatia, we know about that. That's edge of the seat match. And then this one, this cataclysmic result last night when they were just 11 or 12 seconds away from going into extra time, with 2 men still off the bench to come. Italy down to 10, having used up all their replacements. Tactically, from the heart, the Australians have played above their weight, and they can take these moments into the future and on to bigger and better things.
Peter Wilkins, thanks very much for joining us and for the coverage over the past 4 games. Thank you.